Hello, love bugs. There is something that I have really been noticing about our little Palia game lately, and that is that we have just a ton of new players. I have more people that are new, or let's say someone who maybe played right in the very beginning when the game first came out and then left for a while because they got hooked on something different and now they're back and so much has changed. Or truly just players who maybe around the holidays or even during tax season maybe finally got a PC or got the Switch or whatever the case may be. So I have just been shocked at the number of new players that I have been seeing both out in the world and also in my Twitch comments and obviously my YouTube comments as well. So I wanted to make a little video today kind of talking about 10 of the things that I think new players should know. Now, obviously, I could make a tip list that's 100 things long. There's obviously a lot of things for you to learn about this game and lots of things to find, but I think that these 10 tips are pretty helpful. And I want them to be things that are a little bit more unique, not something as simple as, let's say, remember to buy an item at Zeki's register every single day so that at either 6 a.m. or 6 p.m., whichever is next in your game, for me it will be 6 p.m., Zeki will send you a lucky coin. Or
there's more to life than working.
Make sure that you talk to every single character at least once a day when you play. If you can't get to talking to them every single in-game day, at least talk to them once a day, and then also find out what they're currently looking for so that you can give them a gift. Zeki is currently looking for silk thread, which is great, and then I know I can give that to him as a gift today to level him up more quickly,
See you soon, all right?
which will get me more storyline items with Zeki. Now, those are pretty normal things that I think most of you probably know. So let's talk about a couple of the ones that maybe you don't. Number one, the very first thing that you should be doing if you just started playing Palia is getting every single one of all of your 8 skills up to level 10. While it might be really fun to, let's say, do furniture making, or maybe you're somebody who really, really loves to cook, while getting those items, while leveling those items up and trying to even get to 50, it can be totally fun. Before you focus in on just one skill, you should get all of your skills up to 10 as fast as you can. Now, the reasoning behind that is because once you get the skill up to 10, you are going to unlock the guild store for that particular set. If you go into your weekly accomplishments here, you're going to start being able to earn skill medals for that skill once you hit level 10. So that's why it's so important to get all of the skills to level 10 first before just focusing in on one. Then you're going to be able to, every single real life week, you're going to be able to go into the game and earn guild coin medals that you can then turn into the guild shops. For example, Reth is in charge of cooking. Now, when I walk up to Reth, because my skill is at least level 10, I can go into Reth's guild store, which is going to give me options for spending my guild coins. Now, some of them are just small little things like getting some food and then some plaques. So there's also the ramen bowl wallpaper. There's cook's trays. There's special recipes that I can only get using guild coins, and also this awesome cook's market stand, which is a legendary decor because the only way you can get it is by saving up 980 guild coins, which obviously is a lot, especially early in the game. So you don't really want to waste any time not being able to earn those guild coins because they are going to give you some of the coolest and rarest things in the game. Ashura is actually an excellent example of this, because you know that really beautiful little koi lake that you see on people's plots that they decorate with, that is so beautiful, that little pond? It's right here, and it takes 1,120 guild coins. It takes so many guild coins to get them, but the items are so good from Ashura. I mean, some of the best decor items in the game. It can also save you sometimes when you're screwed and you need something for a recipe. For example, a lot of us have been short on Dragon's Beard Pete lately, and in endgame, having those extra coins to instead have to go track this item down that can be a little hard to find in large quantities, you can buy just a couple right here to make what you need to make. In the beginning of the game, you're definitely going to be doing lots of hunting, lots of fishing. You're going to find lots of bugs. And I find that a lot of players tell me that they accidentally sold some of the things that they end up needing later in game. The best rule of thumb, in my opinion, is to hold on to any epic or rare bugs or fish that you find. At the very least, hang on to one of them. There are things in the game that you will eventually need these items for, whether it is in temple bundles or if it's in gifts for storylines. You can tell the rarity of your fish by just hovering over top of it, and it will tell you. So the platinum shad, even though this is a starred fish, which makes it worth a little bit more gold, is only a common fish, as you can see at the very, very bottom there. However, if you look up here at this guy, this is Kenley's carp. Kenley's carp is a rare fish, so I would highly recommend if you catch some of those, while you're probably okay to sell most of them, keep at least one just in case you need it for a storyline item or something later in the game. It feels a lot better to have something already sitting in your inventory than to have to hunt for it later. The same goes for the star stones that you can find from hitting rocks, both in Kilima and in Bahari. Now, while the regular standard rocks are generally just used for bundles, they can be given as gifts to villagers, or most often are just sold to get money. Some of them are a little bit harder to find and are rarer in the game. And if you find one that is starred, the starred ones can actually be placed on your plot as collectibles. And a lot of us, me, get really obsessed with collecting all of our starred gemstones so that we can decorate with them and show them off like the dragon hoarding our loot that I am. Okay, look, I am what I am. It is what it is. So as you're going around and hitting rocks and you're running into different gemstones in the game, right there, for example, I just got an onyx. Onyxes are actually rarer than you might think that they are. As you can see, it is a rare material. Some of them might be marked as common. The onyx is actually a rare stone. I recommend keeping at least one of each star stone, not the starred version, but just the regular one in your inventory for when you might need it for a storyline. Love how I just said that that's rare and then I got 2 in a row. You know, it's crazy how that happens for a video, but never any other time. So keep one of each starstone in your inventory so that you have it for when you need it for a bundle, because again, running around and hunting it when you need it later because you accidentally sold it is the absolute worst. Speaking of rocks, don't forget to catch the bugs that can come out of the rocks. In Kilima, the proudhorn beetle that comes out of those rocks can drop a plushie, and you definitely don't want to be missing out on any plushies. In Bahari, the bug that comes out of the rocks here will actually give you silk thread. Now, we already saw from earlier in the video that that's actually something that Zeki is even looking for this week as a gift. So it's a really great item that you can give to people as a gift. But in my opinion, more importantly, when turned into actual silk, it is one of the best kind of easy money makers in the game. First off, you're going to need it in early game to make certain furniture sets. You use it in a lot of them, so you're going to need that silk anyway. But oh, that's not a rock, Ravi. I'm a professional, I promise. But secondly, it is also just a great thing once you get later into the game to be able to sell to make a little bit of money, or if you've already made it through some of those furniture pieces and you need cash more than you need the silk right now, you can always sell it as a way to make yourself some extra cash. Silk isn't particularly hard to get in the game, but it also isn't easy. And if you're already going around and hitting rocks, you might as well catch the critters that crawl out of them so that you can get that silk. And of course, there's not going to be one that's going to spawn for me to give an example of in this video, right? No, that couldn't be that easy. Oh, finally. This is what it looks like. I have never hit so many rocks before to get a centipede. This is ridiculous. This is what this little guy is going to look like. Usually he's going to run around, be a little crazy, and then you're just going to go ahead and loot him up. You can see I got 4 silk thread there, which I can then use to make myself some money or to give as gifts, like in Zeki's case. Now, both hitting rocks and hunting are particularly good money makers, especially for early game players, especially if you do them in Bahari. However, in Bahari, there's no place for you to sell anything. So how do you get around that? If your tools are still looking good, you may be able to repair them at the central stables, and you don't really want to go back to Kilima yet. Well, If you find Hassian on your map or Hadari currently chilling in Bahari, you can sell to Hassian any of your hunting items, and to Hadari, you can sell your items that you get from mining. So you can just go on over to them, which is also just a good thing to do anyway to get your daily talk in. And of course, don't forget to chat with Tao. You can go right ahead and open up their store, and then it will let you know when you click on an item if you can sell it to them. So for example, if I go to sell my fish, it's going to say I can't sell that here. But if I go to sell the meat from going hunting, I can. And now I just went ahead and made myself some money, and I didn't even have to go all the way back to Kilima to do it. Now, everything in Palia is a little bit better with friends. This is meant to be a multiplayer game where we play with other people, and being in a party is always going to give you benefits for catching bugs, for hunting, for any of the different perks that you're going after. Even if it's just the bonus for double loot that you get from fishing, it's always valuable to be in a party. Now, if you don't have any friends in Palia yet, and you don't have anyone that invited you to the game, and you're struggling to find them, you can open up your server chat and then start talking to people right here in the game. You would be surprised how quickly people will join you, especially if it's for a certain skill. I usually tell people the best way to ask for other people to party up is to tell them you're going to do something specific. So be like, do y'all want to party up and hunt lantern bugs? Anybody want to party up and go after garden snails? Anyone want to party up and hunt choppas? Find a specific thing that you want to do and invite people to do those things, and then often there will be people in the server who want to join you. If there is no one in the server that talks to you and nobody wants to party up, I recommend leaving the server that you're on and going to a different one. Sometimes you get lucky and you just come across people actually doing things as well. So if you can find a group of people already hunting or doing something, you might just be able to ask them directly using nearby chat. Hey guys, can I join you in hunting bugs, or can I join you in hunting, hitting rocks, or whatever the case may be, and see what they say. So you don't always have to add a friend to join a party. You can add anybody that's on your server without adding them as a friend and have them join your party so that you all get the benefits. And while we're in Bahari, I want to talk about something that you really should make a priority when you first start playing Palia, and that is main storyline, so that you can get your glider. Once you reach a certain point in the main storyline, Gina is going to talk to you about a glider and tell you to come and talk to Najuma. I highly recommend the second that you get that quest, come to Najuma and find out what you need to get your glider. And even if you have like 16 other side quests going on at that time, you should really focus on that one. Having a glider in the game really changes everything from how you can move around the game, not to mention the places you can get. Many of the temples you can't do without a glider, not that you would get there before getting the glider, but even if you're having one of those days where you just don't feel like doing main storyline and you just want to run around and play around in the game, having a glider is just so much better for moving from place to place, and even is essential to get to some of the hidden chests and things that you will find around the maps. Now let's talk a little bit about temptation. It is really easy in early game to be very, very jealous of all of the amazing items that people have in their house, all of the beautiful decorating that they have done, especially with players like me who've been playing the game since the start and have multiple plots with multiple things in them, to want to walk into Tish's shop and save up your gold and blow it on a couple of the items that you would really love to have. I highly recommend against this. There is nothing in Tish's shop that can't eventually be made. When you talk to Tish, she's going to give you the options to purchase different recipe kits for furniture making. And you are not the kits, but recipes for furniture making. And you will be able to learn every single thing that is available in here. Now, players who have been playing the game for a long time will probably tell you that sometimes it's better just to get the gold and buy the item from Tish than it is to try and get the resources to make certain items yourself, especially when the resources become a little bit trickier to get your hands on than maybe making some gold does, or if you have a lot of gold sitting in your inventory. But new players, in my opinion, should always learn how to make every single item before they buy any. Money is such an important resource early in the game. Unless you already have a bunch of friends to be doing tons of cooking parties with and are planning to really maximize your money making, I really recommend using this as a way to not only save money so you can spend your money on other stuff, but also as a way to lift up that furniture skill to get it up to level 10. And I'll give this as a bonus tip. If you are going to spend any money with Tish at all in the beginning, it should definitely be on increasing your storage as you're holding on to different items. Increased storage is one of the biggest problems in Palia. Even as a late game player, we need an increase in storage so badly in the game. But in the beginning, until you're able to get all of your bigger chests, it's going to be a giant pain for you as well. So as soon as these start unlocking as you level up, save money to upgrade your storage and you will thank me later. Now, if you're like, well, Ravi, that kind of sucks. I want some cute stuff to put into my house. I don't want to have to wait until I get all the way through my skills in order to do that. Well, first off, play Palia however you want. As long as you're having fun, then you're doing it the right way. These are just some tips and suggestions. But secondly, I'll give you a suggestion. I would recommend coming and fishing in one of the ponds and any of the ponds in the game. But I personally like this one. It is right behind Leafhopper Hills, right behind Badru's farm and the gardens. There's this cute little pond back here, and it's such a lovely place to fish for fish plushies. So if you would like an easy way to get yourself maybe your first plushie in the game where you can just kind of zone out a little bit, listen to a podcast, listen to some music, you actually do not need any bait whatsoever in order to get plushies in the game. So you would have a chance at getting makeshift chests and plushies, not to mention fish that you can turn into food for focus or that you can sell to make yourself some money right here. And look, and you can do it easily by yourself. You do not need a party or friends. Well, of course, having a friend with you so that you get a chance of double loot is always a little bit better, but you don't need to. If you're just feeling like, I just want to chill, I just want to zone out, you can fish here with absolutely no resources needed, absolutely no special tools needed, nothing. And you can just sit here and fish and have a chance of getting items that you can place in your house and a chance of getting plushies. Now, speaking of focus, it is important to always keep your focus up. Your focus bar you can find right here on this screen, or it's always up in that upper left-hand corner as well. You can see that mine is completely maxed out. I can have the max amount of focus, and I'm getting the max multiplier of focus. You get focus by eating food. Focus is going to give you a faster experience in all of your skills when you have it on. One of my favorite things about Palia is that we don't have to eat food in order to be able to do things in the game. It's not required of us. It just gives us a bonus if we do use it by increasing our skills even faster. So I highly recommend always having food on you and in some way, shape, or form, whether you cooked it yourself or if you bought it from Ref. Now, one of the main things about focus that I hear about from new players is that they forget about upgrading their focus. For just about everything you're going to do in the game, especially in early game, you're going to earn renown. As your renown levels up, you should be cashing that in to increase your focus multiplier, and you do that at the Phoenix Shrine. There are two different shrines where you can do things to help your focus. At this shrine, it's going to, as you can see, mine is max, so I can't do anything, but you'll just run up here and then you will upgrade your focus. This is going to make it so you earn more experience from the focus food that you eat. The Dragon Shrine, which is all the way over at Magi Hollow, right here. That one is going to increase how much you can eat, essentially, which is nice because then you can eat food that, like, more complicated recipes and food that give you more focus, but you don't really have access to that early in the game. So it's really not as necessary as increasing the multiplier. Would you rather be able to have to eat a little bit more food, but get way more experience from it? I mean, I think that I would. That is why I suggest doing the Phoenix Shrine and maxing that out before you start putting into the Dragon Shrine. Now that was technically even more than 10 tips. So it was 10 tips with some bonuses, but even just while making this video, I probably came up with about 20 other ones that I could give y'all. And I'm sure many of you watching this video who are longtime players have other tips for our new players as well. So please feel free to drop them down in the comments. Don't forget that Palia Wiki is your friend, and also that there are a ton of amazing creators out there and players who have just gone and made amazing content and videos for you to watch to teach you how to do all kinds of cool things in the game. But again, I can't reinforce number one enough. Get all those skills to level 10. There will be plenty time for decorating later. Okay, I love you. Bye-bye.